True connection is the rarest kind of wealth, a treasure buried beneath layers of fear, distraction, and misunderstanding. Most people spend their lives searching for it, yet they settle for something far less. Surface-level friendships, transactional partnerships, or fleeting romances that leave them lonelier than before. The irony is this: we're wired for connection, born with an innate need to belong, yet we sabotage our chances at finding it. Why? Because true connection requires vulnerability, effort, and authenticity, qualities many are unwilling or too afraid to give. We live in a world obsessed with numbers, followers, likes, friends lists, but these metrics deceive us into believing that more equals better. 100 acquaintances can't replace one genuine confidant. Superficial connections may fill time, but they never touch the soul. The problem isn't the absence of relationships, it's the presence of empty ones. We mistake noise for intimacy, proximity for closeness, and validation for love. Until we stop chasing quantity and start valuing depth, true connection will remain elusive. At the heart of every failed attempt at connection lies fear, the fear of being truly seen, flaws and all. Vulnerability feels dangerous because it exposes us to rejection, judgment, betrayal. So we hide behind masks, presenting polished versions of ourselves while burying our raw, imperfect truths. But here's the paradox: connection cannot exist without authenticity. You cannot expect someone to meet your real self if you refuse to show up as such. Masks protect us temporarily, but they also isolate us permanently. Most conversations aren't dialogues, they're monologues in disguise. People listen not to understand, but to respond, rehearsing their next line while the other speaks. True connection demands active listening, the kind that requires presence, empathy, and curiosity. It means setting aside your agenda to fully engage with theirs. When you listen deeply, you validate their humanity, and in doing so, you invite them to see yours. Connection fails when we prioritize speaking over hearing, taking over giving, self over shared experience. Expectations unspoken become resentments unearned. Too often, we enter relationships carrying invisible rulebooks, assuming others should instinctively know what we need. If they really cared, they'd fills the silence where communication should be. This silent script sets everyone up for failure. True connection thrives on clarity, not assumption. It asks us to voice our needs, articulate our boundaries, and align our expectations. Without open dialogue, misunderstandings fester, trust erodes, and bonds weaken. Modern life conspires against connection. Phones buzz incessantly, notifications demand attention, and endless entertainment numbs us into isolation. Even when physically present, we're mentally absent, scrolling through screens instead of engaging with souls. Technology connects us globally but disconnects us locally. Eye contact fades, small talk replaces substance, and moments slip away unnoticed. True connection requires focus, putting down devices, showing up fully, and choosing presence over convenience. Distraction dilutes intimacy. Undivided attention deepens it. Many wait for ideal partners, perfect friends, flawless companions who check every box on their list. But perfection doesn't exist, and waiting for it guarantees disappointment. True connection isn't about finding someone without flaws, it's about embracing imperfections, both theirs and your own. Growth happens in the messy middle, the space between struggle and support. If you reject people for being human, you'll never find the humanity you crave. Love isn't earned by perfection, it's given despite imperfection. Connection doesn't happen by accident, it's cultivated intentionally. Yet many resist putting in the work, expecting relationships to sustain themselves effortlessly. They avoid difficult conversations, neglect emotional labor, and abandon ship at the first sign of trouble. But meaningful bonds require effort, compromise, forgiveness, patience, and persistence. Like any garden, relationships wilt without care. What separates fleeting encounters from lasting connections is the willingness to nurture, even when it's hard. True connection isn't something you find, it's something you build. It begins with courage. The courage to be vulnerable, to communicate openly, to invest deeply. It demands shedding illusions of perfection, resisting distractions, and embracing effort. Connection isn't passive, it's active. It's choosing to show up again and again even when fear whispers otherwise. And though the path may feel daunting, remember this: the deepest joys in life come not from avoiding pain, but from forging bonds strong enough to endure it. So step forward, unmasked and unafraid. The connections you seek are waiting, but only if you're willing to create them.